let's just kind of review what we wanted to do today. Was we had done an email correspondence after you looked at some bronze and silver plan options and talked about what would make sense for you and Lisa as for your family plan. I think we agreed to rule out the silver.
Yes.
You're not eligible for the cost sharing reduction, and the change in premium doesn't warrant the additional benefit differential, which is not too terribly big. It's a bigger deal if you get cost sharing reduction, but if you don't, I would agree bronze makes tons of sense.
Yep.
We also know you have a good and reliable source for your primary care, so that also makes tons of sense. So I think today we're going to look at a bronze plan, if that's agreeable to you, and we're going to look at a bronze plan from Medica Health Plan.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and skip to view plans, and here we are.
Yep.
And if we're going to sort on bronze, and we're going to sort on Medica, so we can kind of just narrow the field a little bit.
Right. As I sorted these through, so my thought process on this is that I want to, because I have a good source for my primary care that's included in my membership, I would like to have a plan where what the insurance company pays is the least for primary care, because I'm purchasing it in a different way. So that's where I was looking between the 374.48 and the 387.80. I was not able to determine any difference between those.
If you go to the top here, Lee, do you see where the word
I know
applause?
the names, yep.
So all that does is that designates a slightly different network. That would be more relevant if you were going to routinely seek care in other parts of Minnesota. So think Metro and North, as opposed to Metro and South. And if that's relevant, I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. If it's really not, and you don't do routine scheduled primary or specialty care, frankly, it's irrelevant for your purposes. Yep.
I think the one we want is the Share Plus, the 374.
Be engaged by
engaged by Medic. Yeah, that one.
Yep. We'll just do a quick, make sure you're agreeable. So the deductible is quite a bit lower, and that's great because you're shifting costs into primary care, which also makes exactly kind of where you were going. So just confirming that you're correct. I'm just
thinking clearly. Yep. And so for those outpatient diagnostic services, that includes the lab tests as well, right? So it says X-rays, diagnostic imaging, but again, that's something that's included in our membership on the lab test part, not the X-rays, not the imaging. But that's another reason why having stuff that's in that co-insurance bundle is okay, because most of it's covered for us.
Okay, so if you do need high-end imaging, just be aware those are going to be a little bit more pricey with a 50% cost share, but it would take two and you probably hit your new deductible. So
right, exactly.
And then I don't think you have significant medications, is that correct?
I don't. No.
Okay, and that'd be true for Lisa then as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And it would, that looks great.
All right, perfect. And you did check.
I looked at the summary of benefits and the detailed plan documents.
We're going to go ahead and add this to your cart. We'll make this as painless as possible. How that works then is your amount due each month will be $374.48. Your subsidy will pay $1,665.84.
Great.
And typically today would be the time we would do what's called a binder payment. Basically, the big thing, because this is a tax program, is just to be aware that if you have anything that significantly or materially changes your tax status, you want to report that as soon as possible, either to MNsure to me, and I can upload your documents, whatever works easier for you, and that you're going to attest that you will file taxes for calendar year 2024 in or by the spring of 2025. And if you allow, I'll go ahead and type your name here. All right. You're enrolled. If you wish, you can do your first binder payment if you want now, or you can do that by contacting Medica directly at your choice.
I would like to just do it now.
Because this is an Affordable Care Act IFP policy, there are certain federal grace periods. You have a 90-day grace period with an Affordable Care Act plan. That is considerably different than a regular commercial insurance group policy. Usually those are 30-day grace periods. So what that means in practical terms is if for some reason lately you fail to pay your monthly auto pay, insufficient funds, or you're just Christmas shopping, whatever, and you fail to pay it a second month and you fail to pay it a third month, at the end of that 90 days, that legally they can terminate your plan. Prior to that, they have to give you notices, but they can't terminate your plan until you've been in default for 90 days. So
Okay.
little extra thing. I know that's not you, and I know you don't play that game, but there have been
Right.
times, because this tends to be a low income insurance policy, that people do that. Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much. This has been really helpful. And one of the, like, I'm assuming that it's okay that as I do a blog post about this, I say, John Kelly helped me with this. And if you'd like to talk to John,
Of course, I'd be thrilled.
yeah.
What I try to do, so I'm being me to you, as though you were not a person who I had known for quite some time. So my interactions with you would be typical of what I'd have with a client. So my goal is to try to make this relatively easy to understand and painless, and not throw a lot of tactics that put people uncomfortable, or words that make them feel like it's kind of a power play, things like that. So I'm really trying to make it feel like I'm speaking to you at a common language level so you can understand.